Hey, Drew here. Have another summary for you of a great article. This one is a little out of my depth, out of what I do as a coach or trainer, but I find it interesting and something that we can apply. It's called Getting to the Bottom of Destructive Behaviors. Let me just read some of what the author wrote here. It says, when a person's resistive habits persist despite their best attempts to change, I use an unconventional way to help them change. Uncovering the genesis stories of persistent harmful behaviors may assist you in breaking through and making way where previous tactics have failed. So really asking people, kind of why do you do what you do when you do it? Why do you think what you think when you think it? Why do you say what you say when you say it? And trying to find that origin story of why they demonstrate the behaviors that they do. It might be that's what was modeled for them. I was talking to a group just the other day and I said, look, when we lead an organization, people come into that organization and they communicate the way that they were taught to communicate. Maybe in their home growing up, it was yelling. That's just how you communicated. Maybe it was you never addressed challenging subjects and that's how you communicate, and that was their model, so they don't like to have tough conversations. Whatever it is, kind of finding those origins of that. And I do find that interesting. I do that. The author makes it very clear that you don't want to, these questions of really kind of going back into your story are not in place of therapy, right? And that's really what I want to make the distinction of today. From my perspective, with coaching is very forward looking. If you never had a coach before, it's all about looking forward, how to achieve the goals. We might touch on why you're having a problem not moving forward in your career or with a goal or in a particular area of life, but we just touch on it. We don't live there. Whereas therapy is more of unpacking that and delving into that. So I just want to make that distinction. I do believe, though, you will never outperform your self-image. Self-image is undefeated. And if you view yourself a certain way, then that's the level. That'll be the lid, right? That's the level to which you will perform. And if that's what's stopping you, you need to figure out why that is. But let me keep reading the article so we can do an article summary here. But the author said, I asked a client to write down anecdotes from his early years that revolved around instances in which he discovered that being both correct about and vital to so many topics became extremely important to him. So at some point, this person, they had to be right. We know we all have worked with someone like that always has to be right. And if you haven't worked with someone like that, you may be that person, okay? But it's not fun, right? It's not fun being around a person that always has to get the last word. They always have to be right. So she was trying to help him discover why that is. So she says, a well-formed story nearly always serves as a foundation for the development of harmful conduct. So really figuring out what that is, and then the author goes on to say, figuring out what that story is and then unpacking that and maybe rewriting the story, maybe looking back and saying, you know what, I can look at this differently. I can view my past differently. I can interpret it differently, because that's really what it is, right? We can go through the same experience as someone else, and someone else can have a different interpretation of that experience. So going back, looking at certain situations and saying, hey, let me put a different spin on this. For example, failures in life. Some people view failure as feedback, and that little tweak helps them say, you know what? That doesn't make me a failure. That just informs me now of how I can make decisions differently moving forward. I can learn from that experience. So making those small tweaks in our life experiences, we can actually pull lessons out of those experiences. So interesting stuff. Like I said, kind of out of my depth, but it's definitely something that is worthwhile, and you may be able to apply into your leadership style. I think it's valuable. I think it's worth looking into. It's definitely worth doing some self-discovery with reading this article. If you'd like the full article summary, I can send it to you. It's called Getting to the Bottom of Destructive Behaviors. Love to send you the summary. Just direct message me or write something in the comments, the title of the article in the comments, and I'll get that to you. All right, I'll see you on the next summary.